Stephen Mayo, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very bloody good.
Steve, we've got a bit of a history. My dad worked with your grandfather.
Yes, he did.
You lived about I can't remember, a street away from my uncle in Colburn.
Yeah.
It was, unbelievable. And then we met in bloody Aberystwyth in 1993.
Of all places.
What I want to ask you, Steve, is why? Why do you do what you do?
Back in school, I know Craig touched on this, his sort of, his take on it. But the truth is, I was approached by our head of year because Craig was getting badly bullied in school and he didn't have any friends. So I was asked to sort of like take him under my wing a little bit and try and get him out of his shell a bit, because he was an elective mute for 3 of the 6 years we were in school. So, no, that's all bollocks. Imagine that was it. We were like a comedy act in the later part of comprehensive school. And we got asked to audition for all these drama courses, and National Youth Theatre of Wales was where we all sort of, where we met. And that was the eye-opener for me especially, I think. Because I'm from Upper Swansea Valley. It's a society that's not, it's really buttoned down, it's a practical society where people work with their hands and they work hard and they party hard. And then we were introduced to this sort of drama world where it's like a world of imagination full of these outgoing, open, crazy people. And I just saw that and thought, that's what I want to surround me for my life,
Did you do the school plays? Were you into that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I did. I was Bugsy in Bugsy Malone. Got a nice girlfriend after that one. Yeah, I try to sort of kid myself that it's a thing of intellectual merit that I'm here, but I'm just here for the ladies. Not many ladies.
Obviously, after the National Youth Theatre, onwards and upwards, it was drama school and off into the big bad world.
No, I took a year out though. I did A-levels. I did theatre studies, law and history, because I still wasn't sure whether I definitely wanted it. I knew I wanted to do it, but my whole family were like, no, it's not. Because my family have always, never been a rich family, we've always sort of worked and struggled. And my parents knew, I was always quite academically gifted. I've got like a semi-photographic brain, so I can read something and I remember the stuff, So law and history and things would be that, because I'd remember all the dates and I'd remember all the precedents and the statutes and all that ridiculously stupid stuff. But that's where they were pushing me. They thought, okay, if you've got a talent for that, you'll have a regular wage, you'll have a good wage, go into law. But I sort of didn't want to, and I took a year out after my A-levels to work to get a bit of money behind me before going to whichever university I went to. And my dad walked into the room one day and sat me down and just basically told me, follow your heart. Whatever you want to do, do it. Because you don't want to be sat there in 20 odd years going, what if? Because I think that's what my dad did, My dad and my mum got together when they were 18. They were pregnant with me. I was born when they were 19. They were married at 18, 7 months before I was born. My dad had to go out and work, and my dad was he was a DJ when my mum met him, and he was a great singer, and he was a great actor and storyteller and things like that, but he never got to do it. He never got to do it because he had a family to provide for, So I think that was, in a way, him telling me not to do what he did.
That really is beautiful. And then what happened after that? Where did you go?
I went to the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama in Cardiff. I was there, did the 3-year course there. And I got really lucky. Just in my third year there, I did a workshop with a guy called Andy Hay, who was then the artistic director of Bristol Old Vic Theatre. And he had a rugby play, John Godber's Up and Under, to do in the Easter of that year. And we got the call, me and another mate of mine, Simon Meehan, to go down and audition for it. And we did, and I got it. So I left drama school like a term early to go and do that show with Gareth Chilcott, the ex-England prop. So that was cool. So and through that, then I saw a couple of producers that had come to see it from BBC Wales, who were also casting this new drama called Belonging. And Gary Howe, a big Welsh casting director, God rest his soul, lovely man. And he had loads of projects coming up. So, you know, there was a great showcase for me, that play. So that then snowballed into me getting bits and bobs of telly through Wales. And yeah, I was up and running.
You were in Les Mis for a bit, which was a fantastic achievement, which was absolutely amazing. Yeah. Russ couldn't stay in the same dressing room for more than 3 minutes. How did you cope with that, doing 2 years on the West End?
Yeah. Russ is like the artistic version of like the littlest hobo, you know. There's a voice that just keeps on calling him down the roads where he'll always be. Yeah, it was tough, you know. 2.5 years. Previous to that, the longest job I'd done was like 6 months in the theatre. And this was like over 4 times longer than that. So that was in itself its own sort of test, you know. But amazing experience. Like we got a standing ovation every night. Every night. You know, I did nearly 800 shows. And every one of them had a standing ovation. You know, it's so well received. And it's my favourite musical. So it was, in that respect, I don't think I'd be able to do 2 years in anything else again.
Did you enjoy the experience, or were you glad to be out at the end?
It was a mixture of all that, you know, because I lived down on the south coast of England. So my commute, thankfully there's a very fast train into London, but my commute was about 1,000 miles a week. So that in itself was its own challenge, you know, given that Les Mis is such a long play as well. And when I started it, my youngest son was 3 and a bit months old and didn't like sleep at all. So I'd get in from the show about 12:15, 12:30 at night. He'd normally be up at about 3 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the morning. So like I spent 2 years dizzy, like jet lag feeling, and having to perform in front of 1,000 people 8 times a week, 6 days a week. But you know, we got a lovely house. It's put us in good stead, you know. Would I rush back into the West End? I'd want a bit of time off from it, I would say, just to recharge the batteries, you know. Because I wasn't prepared for how all-encompassing it would be, you know, not just for me, but for the rest of the family. My wife is an actress. I had Sunday off, you know, 2 young kids, sort of hamstrung her with what she could audition for, what feasibly outside of voiceovers, which she's very, very good at and makes a good living at, she could do. You know, she couldn't audition for regional theatre somewhere, going away for 2 months. She was offered a few shows, some great parts, and she had to turn them down, unfortunately. But, you know, that's balance, isn't it? Striking that balance.